Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. I am Chris, and today is my favorite day of the week. It is TCG Player Mail Day. I got my mail in from TCG Player. Let's go ahead and open it up, see what I got. So here we are with, feels like it is the Fallout edition of Mail Day. The first card, actually first two cards, is the Master Transcendent. For blue, black, green, and colorless, you get a 2/4 legendary artifact creature, Mutant. When the Master Transcendent enters the battlefield, target player gets 2 rad counters. Then you tap, put target creature card in a graveyard that was milled this turn onto the battlefield under your control. It's a green mutant with base power 3 and toughness of 3/3. It's a good card, especially in a CDC deck, which is where the next card is going. I got several. One from our Integra deck, one from my CDC deck, and one, I don't know where the last one's going to go. Wasteland Raider. It's a 2 black, 2 colorless, 4/3 creature, human mercenary with squad 2. So you can pay 2 when it comes into play a couple times, or 3 times, or 4 times, however much mana you've got, and it'll create a copy of it. When it does, when this card enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. So if you happen to have 6 mana, it'll create 2 of these guys, forcing everyone to sacrifice 2 creatures. It's perfect in all kinds of different decks. I think it's a fantastic addition to my CDC deck and my Turgid deck. Mutational Advantage. For 1 blue, 1 green, 1 colorless, it's an instant permanency control with counters on them, game hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to those permanents this turn, and you get to proliferate. This is going to go straight into my Atraxa deck, because my Atraxa deck is all about counters, and that's a great counters card. Next one's Vats. 2 black, 2 colorless, split second. It's an instant. Choose any number of target creatures with equal toughness, destroy the chosen creature. So you can destroy 1 creature, or you can destroy a bunch that have the same toughness. It's a great card. Mystic Forge. For 4 colorless mana, it is an artifact. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of your library, and then you could tap to pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. So if it's a land or something else you can't play at that time, you can go ahead and pay a life and tap it to get rid of that card and pull up another card. If it's colorless or an artifact spell, you're able to play it without any consequences. It's fantastic. So this particular one is going to be an upgrade for my Eldrazi deck, because Eldrazi are colorless. Now onto the land section, which is going to be the largest section of everything I bought, because this set had a fantastic number of reprints that were extended or borderless. I'm a huge fan of extended cards. If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you know that, and this is the first time seeing a lot of these cards in print as extended or borderless. So this first one is Canyon Slough. Land, Swamp Mountain, enters the battlefield tapped, and you can cycle it for 2. Next one is Dragon Skull Summit, with some pretty crazy cool art. It's a land. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or a mountain. Taps produce a red or a black. Drowned Catacomb. It's the same as the one before, except enters the battlefield tapped unless you control an island or swamp, and taps produce a blue or black. Fetid Pools. It's a land. It's an island swamp, so it produces either a green a blue or black, and enters the battlefield tapped, cycling of 2. Isolated Chapel. Isolated Chapel enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a plains or a swamp. Taps produce a white or black. Desolate Mire. It's the enemy filter lands. This one is you pay 1 and tap it to produce a black and a white. Hinterland Harbor. It's a land. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest or an island, and it produces blue or green. Woodland Cemetery. It's a land. Woodland Cemetery enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a swamp or a forest. It produces a black or green. Viridescent Bog. This is a land. It's a filter land. Pay 1 and tap it to produce a green and black. Sulphur Falls. Has a battlefield tapped unless you control a island or a mountain, and produces blue or red. Rude Brown Crag. Land. Rebound Crag enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain or a forest. It taps to produce a red or a green. Helios 1. This is going straight into a future big bad robots Liberty Prime. It's a land that taps to reduce colorless mana. You pay 1 and tap to get an energy counter. You can pay 3 and tap to pay X energy. Sacrifice Helios 1. Destroy target non-land permanent with mana value of X. Activate only as a sorcery. I got a second one. I might be playing around with this. See if it will go in my Eldrazi deck or not. We'll see. It might be a good way of blowing things up late game, or if you have a bunch of mana and don't know what to spend it on, it might be a great way to be able to tap it and be able to get some counters on and be able to destroy something late game. Everflowing Chalice. These are not from the next two cards are not from the Fallout series, but they came in the same order. Everflowing Chalice. I got a couple of the borderless versions. These are from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and it's an artifact, costs 0, has a multi-kicker of 2 of them. Everflowing Chalice enters the battlefield with a charge counter on it for each time it was kicked, and then it could tap to produce a colorless mana for each charge counter on Everflowing Chalice. This is going straight. One of them is going straight into my Eldrazi deck. The other one is going in my Tiger deck. Mirrored Landscape. Mirror Landscape enters the battlefield tapped. It taps to produce a colorless mana, or you can pay 2 and sacrifice Mirror Landscape. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type. Put them onto the battlefield tapped. Then shuffle. Yes, I'm going to put this in my Eldrazi deck because I am a big fan of wastes. Frodo, Determined Hero. 1 white, 1 colorless, 2/2 legendary creature, halfling warrior. Enters the battlefield or attacks. You may attach target equipment you control with mana value of 2 or less, 2 or 3 to Frodo. As long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo. So it's going straight into my equipment deck. Gandalf the White Rider. 1 white, 3 colorless. It's a 3/3 legendary creature, avatar wizard with vigilance. And whenever you cast a spell, creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn, and you get to scry 1. And when it dies, you may put it onto its owner's library 5th from the top. Tidespout Tyrant. 3 blue, 5 colorless, creature Djinn. It has flying, and whenever you cast a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. It's a 5/5 flyer Djinn. It's kind of cool. Next one is a extended art thorough investigation. 1 white, 2 colorless enchantment. Whenever you attack, investigate, and whenever you sacrifice a clue, venture into the dungeon. This is going into my Deep Clue C deck. Great addition. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this mail day. It's not a huge mail day, but it's a lot of stuff from Fallout because they have a lot of extended and borderless cards. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I hope you have a great week, and keep 'em rolling! And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day, and keep 'em rolling.